and welcome back to the NECC. We're here in week 2 of the spring semester, but the very first Counter-Strike broadcast. It is Get the Bag Mark joining you from the fall semester, but popping on with a very special guest. I have Buckethead alongside me here today to kick off the spring semester for CS. Dude, it's good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you too, man. I'm very excited. I have a little bit of experience dipping my toes into the collegiate scene within Counter-Strike, but, I know you're quite the versed man, so I'm very happy to be sharing the screen alongside you tonight.
Well, I'm always happy to hear that. I'm actually flattered, dude. And it's, a great time to get back into it. Honestly, a very exciting start to the spring semester. We can see where we're headed, particularly. Of course, I don't know if I mentioned this. In the Division 1, we are starting out tonight, Donnie, and with a pretty interesting matchup here in Group D, which is a very competitive group. I can get to that in a moment, but you got Atletica Polytechnic going up against the CSU Vikings club. This is a pretty fun one.
Yeah, it definitely should be. Both these teams starting off 0-1 so far, but I mean, we got two skilled groups ahead of us. Cleveland State University, which I love the name of, and Seneca, which is hailing from the great country of Canada, face off tonight. And Mark, I want to know, what do you think of the teams coming up tonight? Where do you think this is going to go?
This is a fun one, Donnie. Both of these teams unfortunately started out 0-1, but in a little bit of different fashion. It's really interesting. I was talking about this group that's like very, very packed. These two teams, Donnie, are gonna be kind of fighting for that 4th spot, right? Trying to hop up out of this group to the playoffs, out of the 8 teams, which, like, standing in here, you have number 3 ranked RIT Orange. You have 18 Boston University, of which you're coming off of a loss of the CSU Vike squad. It was a closer one, Donnie. We can talk about that veto in a moment before we get into ours, but you got Purdue Gold and then the new Fisher Detonate squad, just to name the top 4 teams that you got in that group. But it was that loss on that Mirage 13-9 and that loss on that Ancient. That was the pick of their opponents. Excuse me, it was the pick of Boston, if I can spit it out there, Donnie, when they played it. But it was their permaban as well of Inferno, which you see the exact same thing of today, and a similar permaban on the other side. So this is looking a little bit interesting right off of the rip, where I was looking to see probably that Mirage get flipped back in. That wasn't necessarily the case. It is going to be that CSU pick of Dust 2, which looks to be where they want to run it back up.
Yeah, I'm actually really excited about these 3 map-ups. Excuse me, these 3 maps in the matchup, because I know a player on Seneca Polytech who is quite versed within, his past experience, that being Bob, Op IGL, someone that's been playing since season 46 of Advanced, and I've had the experience to cast him and his other teams. He also won the Big L at the Frag Super Mega Jersey event. So I'm just saying, this guy is definitely a player to watch. He knows how to IGL and overpass, and obviously Dust 2 and Mirage, when you're an opper, you're going to be looking hot there.
Yeah, this is like a huge upgrade for the Polytech squad out here, replacing Arvan onto this roster, who I didn't get confirmation on, but I assume graduated from this school, Donnie, which we love to see, academic weapons out here and all of that. So, but certainly, I mean, Bob popping up into the collegiate community with, a lot of this experience is, always something that is valuable, because besides Bob on this roster, it's only Dutsy that has this other ESEA league experience, competing experience before collegiate, which I think is pretty important. And when you roll up into an overpass, I think that says a lot about a stiff arm that you're trying to throw here at the beginning of the series, where they didn't exactly play their first matchup. I think we're kind of thinking because of the player swap, Donnie. Yeah. So I think there's a little bit more pressure on that side particularly, and that overpass gives us a great expectation. But it does too that I think you should be able to respond to a little bit better on both sides. Yapping about that veto and getting all the way to that first map, Donnie. CT side start out here for CSU. That's exactly where you want to be.
100%. CT-sided map of Overpass is where we start this best of 3 off, and a pistol round for either one of these teams can definitely swing the tides into a great start of the game. Seneca, they could pull off this T-side pistol, at least get them a little bit of an advantage going into the first half, but either way, a lot of resources being sent towards that fountain, going for the clean default. CSU not putting too much pressure on and allowing the space to be gathered for the Ts.
Just feel the vibe. It feels so good to be back in the collegiate space, Donnie. And I believe at our first cast together all time. So what a great day
I think it actually is.
Yeah, absolutely. So a couple of great reasons to get excited. Maybe if you're also a CSU fan, look at this pistol popping off. And, well, speak of the devil, it's Bob all alone. Put a lot of attention on this man, but this is a lot to stand. And a 1 versus 4 for the clutch, but he has an opportunity to isolate a couple fights here, Donnie.
Yeah, he's getting backstabbed from long, and unfortunately that crossfire is just going to be too much for him to overcome. Dog Lover, a great round starting in connector, getting those 2 clean headshots and then putting the pressure on for that last kill for Lapis to be able to clean it up. CSU look to be starting strong on this CT.
Yeah, they're swinging in strong too today. I got to talk to Prince a little bit before the game, and he said, look, they're just trying to swing in this week, kind of send a message with the victory if they're able to go ahead and earn that result, because they want to send a message to the rest of this competitive group, Donnie, that they are a Division I team. They really are a Division I team. I mean, they pulled off a really great rookie season. They were playing in D2 as their first semester together as a group and literally lost in the best of 5 finals, their first end around 3-0. That was to Carnegie Mellon, or excuse me, Robert Morris there in D2. So I would say that's about as good of a rookie season as you can get. You know what I'm saying? Maybe win the major like Donk, and then we'll say otherwise.
Yeah, I mean, I couldn't agree with you more, Bob, trying to get a deagle shot, but we'll get caught off once again by Dog Lover to open up the round. As we have a little bit of time to breathe, I want to say, I love the way that the collegiate scene is growing. Prince, MP9, good for 1, swings around with the double. But I love seeing, you know, there being real support for Counter-Strike, trying to get some new players into the ecosystem. And, you know, there's no better way to do it than this. Division I esports is here to stay. But unfortunately, Seneca is not in this round. It is 2-0, a clean round for Cleveland State University.
Yeah, it's a great place to be. You know, I feel like I've been following the space for about, goodness, about 4 years now. It's putting a bit of a, you know, an age on me since I feel like years ago we were, you know, seeing it really start to extend its hand with Davenport further, you know, into advance, the first team to like earn their spot into ECL. But, you know, where you're looking right now, I was telling you, it was just getting the opportunity to cast Sportsbet Expert in a couple of events throughout the last week and getting to see SML take an opportunity from Ashland up to, you know, the tier 2 in North America. I think SBE is sitting as a solid tier 3 roster right now, but they have some interesting pieces. Here's Twix. He's an interesting piece. He actually comes from the fighting game scene as he joined his squad as a rookie last season. He does have that FPS knowledge coming from TF2, Donnie. That's a...
Oh, I love me some TF2. And honestly, I mean, you know, it doesn't translate exactly into CS because it's a very different type of first-person shooter, but a lot of the same team elements are within TF2. I was a fan of the scene for a long time, especially growing up, so definitely can translate over, but we're gonna have to see how this MP9 translates into the Galil of Bob, that getting the upper hand. And now with a 2-player advantage, Seneca could potentially stab their way onto the A-bomb site.
Potato walking up long here, and I believe that Nade being lined up on the other side already clicked. Might be able to see it thrown momentarily, but just walks back to map momentarily. It's a good, secure position to have, Donnie, before this hit to ensue. But 35 seconds, and Min Potato now confirms that there's at least a little bit of interest around this long corner. This late in the round, you know it's got to be the A hit.
Well, we'll see what Min Potato can do. He crunches down 1, Bob, with the immediate trade, and now Marvin needs to do more. For 1 FAMAS kill is good, but 2 more T's approaching. He needs to stall longer. Bomb being dropped, and other kills falls. Alep, the last player, 1v1. Marvin needs the 3K to try to close the round out. Nade misses, out pushes. The AK gets the better of the FAMAS. Seneca finally get themselves on the board.
Yeah, that was looking a little bit ugly so far for that A hit just right away. I mean, out from long, you're pulling that at 35. That's not too big of a blow. Not going too down on time or anything like that, but a couple of the frags start to add up. The trades do remain close, and that's why you have the 1v1 jumped out to Polytech. Grab their first on the T side. And you know where we're looking to Bob to hold this to what? I don't know if your expectations are so low. I know some people will be like, hey, go ahead and get 4 T-side rounds. I think I like a little bit more than that, Donnie. My expectations a little bit higher for Bob. I can get that answer for you in a moment. They're taking short. Prince has that kill.
Dog Lover wants to re-aggressive con once more. He's so good in this position at the bottom of that staircase. I think he's already got 5 kills going in from there right now. Starting off 7-1, make that 8-1. Doubles up already. Only 2 players left for the side of Seneca.
It's actually fantastic. Seti to go and try and retake a bit of room back at top con. Not sure how important it is. Dog Lover is actually squared up quite well by Offseti. Flashes himself in. Doesn't get to stand with much health. That bomb still stuck in T-spawn, and Lazuli has every advantage. A lap coming back. Feels like Prince is to get a view in here. Back turn free kill.
And now all CSU needs to do is not give up the one-on-ones. Alap had a close clutch situation in the previous. Wasn't able to pull it through, but... excuse me, was able to pull it through. But he'll need to double up, do it once more with a bit more opposition up against him. 20 seconds. I think at this point, you definitely call in a lost cause. You can't get the kills. You just need to be silent, try to keep that gun alive, and concede another round to the side of CSU. And the timing doesn't work in his favor.
Great start for Cleveland. Right off the rip. 3-1, putting back that T-side victory for the moment. Kind of giving their economy a little bit of whiplash for that. Prince can get up that op right away. You know, when talking to Prince specifically, he said that, you know, a part of the rules were kind of being flexible on that rain, you know. I'm thinking, like, we'll get to that IGL conversation and, like, have to reference Wildcard, talking about how they're just kind of flipping that around. But that's sort of where this comes to be, you know, by committee. Everybody gets their opinion. Everybody can present their ideas. And I think that if you're just trying to get that figured out as a system, CSU have, you know, a good measure to test it. They look good so far. Great individually, definitely.
See the op first time out. Prince does not connect with his first shot, but Marvin is good to at least back him up now. 2 T's forced to retreat after both their teammates have fallen. Dog Lover on the other side of the map, able to collect that monster, and it should just be easy pickings. Although, as I say that, Bob's at least able to connect one with the Glock. I think that'll be all she wrote.
Sticking around with that dig. Come on, give me one. Right at the end. This is a
team kill.
A little bit too much to ask. In essence, he does. A little bit of a whoopsie by Min Potato pulling up to Divider. But it's all good, Donnie. I want to go a little bit further and talk on your take of Collegiate growing a little bit further. I want to shout out the Syracuse boys. In fact, we'll probably be right in their neck of the woods when we come up there for frag, won't we? That'll be an exciting time.
Yes.
In fact, where they had the land, the Orange Crush event, where they had 7 of the top 10 collegiate teams playing in. Get this, Donnie. The lowest ranked of them all came in and won the tournament. Radford at the 18th seed from College Counters rankings right before that, won the entire event.
You love to see it. I mean, that's the real chance to show what you got. I feel at the end of the day, you know, a lot of these teams are a lot closer than the ranking would show. You know, there's still growth all around. And as we talk about this, double kill for a Festi, one with the Molotov, one with his rifle. Dog Lover trapped behind the smoke. He hears a T push past him. The bomb's going to start to get planted behind that smoke. Sprays down one, hits him through it. But the bomb planter does get off. The bomb has been planted. Dog Lover left in the 1v3, position fully known, and is quickly dispatched of 2 rounds out of the first 6. I feel like that's a good way to start this T side. I know before you said some people are in the school of thought where you only need like 4 T rounds. I would tend to lean more towards like the 5 T round area where you're really feeling comfortable. At least for me personally, I think 4 is still, you're kind of pushing it with how lucky you can get, especially with the pistol round in that second half. But I will say, I think
Certainly.
Seneca's off to a good start.
Yeah, it's really looking like that's a repeatable T-round victory. That's always where I think my eye test goes. So these individuals winning rounds, or is it the team making it up? It sort of seems like Cleveland's individuals were really running them over there towards the start. You got Dog taking in another couple of steps off the long. A 12-3, 60-80 start they're having. That's sort of the point I'm making. Seneca not making it so easy for him now.
Dusty tries to creep up from connector. Dog Lover giving up that position. Oh my goodness, what a start for Dog Lover. 2 more kills. Oh, Alap does trade back with 1. The op not good for a second. Player advantage still falls with the CTs. As Alap misses another flick, brought down low, can't reaggress. His team, however, has the entirety of the B bomb site.
Yeah, Twix is trying to call him over. It's going to be quite cross-country mile to get back down. I mean, Lazuli is the rotator here. Thing is, Twix has all of the health advantage, so he's the man that's got to take these fights. But in time, I think what he's doing right now and just keeping the site honest is probably the best thing you can do. Not sure information on Min Potato is gained, and this is such a good timing. Alep with the headshot onto the top of Lazuli, but this is what I was meaning. Min Potato is going to be right here, so close, not seen by Alap. And he's just got to play the timing perfectly. Donnie, I think, now spotted, and such a good pivot from Twix. That round, all the credit goes to Twix, holding on to the B bomb site. Just like the anchor, Donnie. That's a great third round posted, and the eco caused by it.
Very well done. And honestly, if Twix doesn't hit that shot because his teammate was so low, that could go downhill really quick with that fast fire rate of the MP9. But either way, doesn't come into play. It's a nice round for the T's through a great hold from Twix, having the B bomb site for basically a minute into the round, holding on to it.
Seems like they may just speed it up again. Yeah, we got a lap going out monster first on the entry. I think you can witness how awkward that can actually turn out. Look at these shots. 2 come their way that actually look to worry me for a moment. Hopefully, that's where that train ends. Dutzy had turned a little bit more than that. Oh, missed opportunity. The hesitation of picking up the rifle. He just turns around. You get a tie game off of it. This is this T side really revving up and in great evidence of Bob so far. I think this is the energy we were looking for.
I definitely agree with you there. And we see a little bit of economical issue for this CT side. A Famas out for Marvin, and a little bit of utility lacking. Prince, none to speak of at all. So maybe Seneca can continue to put on this pressure, take advantage of the lesser poised CT side. Bob rushing straight in with the MAC-10, tries to get an early gunfight, swings around the corner, gets a dank off, but not quite able to finish off Prince. Dusty trying to help out. Marvin pushed forward with that Molotov. Moss only good for 1, a 3-on-2. Dusty also collects 1.
Running this to perfection until you hit about that 40-second mark into the round. Got those trades so satisfyingly up at bathrooms. Was hoping this would go better for Twix and Connector. I feel like this is a big plot of the map to lose. In front of that Molotov, Min Potato with a huge double kill. Might be able to get Twix as well. Hits the reload, but can't hit the 1 HP player. Twix with the headshot. Lazuli will have all the advantage up here to bathrooms first, Donnie. Twix gonna walk this way. All it take is the tick of the timing to go his way again, but crouched into the crosshair. And the Vikes got their 5th.
Even matchup so far. I mean, both these teams having good individual performances, come out when needed. Obviously, we've said it before, but Dog Lover having a great start to the game. 14-6, 167 ADR. Impressive performance. And the CT side does look to close out this half with 3 more rounds remaining. An 8-4 half. Definitely going to be feeling good for CSU. They can close it out, but Seneca has no signs of slowing down. Still a perfectly good buy coming out. The op, once again, back out for Bob. Maybe a little bit more impact can be found with the scope, though.
We're so close to this. Is he gonna remain just honest and connector? Just want to give him too easy of a go back at it. Hasn't been easy for Seneca a couple rounds in a row, though. Twix does have pretty good positioning inside of water. It's really interesting to see Twix play a lot of these spots where he's got to rely on a lot of his own narrative and instinct, Donnie. Knowing what kind of lack of Counter-Strike experience he had when first coming into this roster, it looks like he's really playing these spots well, pretty patiently, waiting for Dog Lover to take a couple steps forward, in with Gutsy. That's the kill they were waiting for. And now Twix, up to his own devices, is investigating short.
No one's going to quite challenge him yet. Sticking around for a little bit longer as the rest of his team slowly do approach towards the monster tunnel. 40 seconds left on the clock. The hit will be coming in very shortly. Lazuli spots a shoulder, gets a first spray, forces the T's to act just a little bit, doubles up onto a lap, but Bob is able to close out with the op. Now the T's start to swarm in onto the B-bomb site. Marvin Good for another one. Close range fight. That op not quite able to land. A little bit of a ring around the Rosie around the pillar. Leaves just Prince by himself coming in through Graffiti. Not able to stop that bomb plant.
Even a missed shot, giving him the warning. Bob seeing Prince. Gonna take this shot long range. Prince here doesn't seem to be taking this clutch along confidently. Nobody giving him the swing either. This is well played by Seneca. But as you see, Bob continuously just juking him out. Where's this peak from Dutsy? Now a couple of shots traded. Prince just too far into this. With no kit, he's got to hit another hard shot. Actually does go down to 50 HP. Bob has saved this. Go all the way further to the bomb site. Just got to juke him out. And what is this? Donnie, what are we seeing? The respect not from Bob. He deserves that stab. Bomb goes off. Now that's a scene you only get in Collegiate.
Oh, giving up the knife kill just for a little bit of disrespect. You love to see it. You hate to see it. But either way, Seneca keeping it even. I want to touch on something you said about Twix being new to CS and seeming like he's fitting quite well into his role right now. I feel like a lot of that has to do with, obviously, the teamwork aspect coming in from TF2, but coming from the fighting scene, specifically Melee, a lot of patience is required in that game in order to really get the right moment to strike, play the mind games with your opponent, and be patient, wait for them to mess up. And I feel like that's exactly what Twix has been doing right now. He's playing his own game. He's waiting for the CTs to give him something, and he's just been very good to pick up on all those moments so far.
Really love the temperature of this first half so far. We'll see if this T side turns it up and actually ends this thing 7-5. Dog Lover, I don't think he's going to take that challenge very lightly. The entire idea of it. He's concerned about Long, rightfully so, likely. Picking up the rifle, unfortunately putting it back down. I feel like that's a big loss. Not even cleared here. Not known. That also may be a mistake they can't get back.
Well, Twix creeping around towards Graffiti. Gets the first headshot onto Min Potato. And now it is only Marvin and Lazuli, both with a deagle to bat. But, I mean, realistically, not much of a chance in the round. There is a kit if somehow the kill is able to fall through. But with a bit of a jump clear from Marvin, at least one kill falls. An AK picked up. The CTs still seem like they want to aggress into this retake. But as the head gets ripped off, make that two. It is Seneca. Finally pull ahead with the lead into this map.
From the hot start to maybe a daunting look into halftime, Cleveland take the timeout at round 12, so they can make the most of it. Neither one of these teams have a registered coach from research I have done, Mr. Donnie.
Yes.
That's something you've seen, run up, friend of the show. Why not? Former head coach for Fisher College. There's a lot of these teams that use ticks like that. And always are a good thing to add to a program because you really want it to be a program. And this is where I think you can link this. I always was joking with, Vincent, a couple friends of the show, talking about this last college football season, Donnie, and where you've seen, you know, the result of that feels like the collegiate dream very much alive there in making up any sort of result with any team, right? You saw just last season as a new squad coming into the Tier 2, the CSU team in second place just in their first season. It really can happen online as well. During the Yap session, I'm talking during these 3 frags. This is a great start for Cleveland. Maybe speak of the devil, and they'll hit 4v1 for a lap now.
Lap's been good in the clutch moments before, but how big of a task can he surmount? 1 kill is a good way to start out. Position known, but still plenty of time to work with. Prince is starting to aggress towards this decomposition. Lap needs to be ready. So many areas to clear. And with the backstab coming in, he has the timing perfect to creep down into connector and at least evade being shot in the back for a little bit longer.
Potato stared down on the ladder, but it's all the timing and even the smoke in hand here. I'm afraid the frog might be a dead man, but at least leaps to 1 kill. Lazuli outside of that door, and yeah, that might be the death of you. Knife pulled. Nothing you can do about it. It's 6-6 first half, Donnie. That's about as great as we'll take it on an overpass. Really satisfactory stuff. Great in-game leading coming out from Bob so far. But to finish my thought from before, you know, those coaches, those program leaders are always important to make it a program, to make sure that more players come into your team and, you know, come out a better product than they came in. Came out a better person than they came in. That's the whole point.
I mean, I feel like especially within the college scene, like a coach can really exemplify a team a lot because this is the part of your life where you're trying to get molded into a better athlete, into a better competitor, and a coach can just change that mindset completely as opposed to going into it with just players. So as we see the growth of Counter-Strike within the college scene, I can only imagine that coaching is going to be a big part in the future. But what's a big part of this round is the mass amount of T's running in through Lawn. Marvin gets a kill towards the bathrooms, and Min Potato with a perfect spot to try to battle back. Alap does trade his teammate back, but alas, the A-bomb site now being taken by the T's.
A lot of this space and the smoke that's defensive over in next to Dice. It's a really good check on that P250. I think it's about to be cashed in this round. Juli's pulling out back from long. Alap, unfortunately, cannot make it go a little bit further than the opening kill they found just a couple seconds prior to that. Cleveland steamrolling up into the second half. There is their pistol round victory.
Definitely needed. I mean, not the worst half in the world, but definitely a 6-6 half on a map like Overpass favors the team going into the CT side on the second half. So getting the pistol for CSU is huge. It allows them to get a little bit of a gap early on, maybe try to wear down that economy and never allow it to bolster fully for the CTs, as we do see the full save out for Seneca as they do a little bit of a gamble stack towards that B-bomb site.
Okay, so excuse us and the HUD. It's actually Seneca. On the CT side, they flip.
Oh, yes, you're right.
Excuse me. To the T side. The HUD be flipping. Don't you worry, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get it back to you. Moment. Easy move by Seneca. Their map pick up to the bomb site. And collapse onto this 1 kill. AK in hand. How crazy does CSU get right here? Throwing these bodies in. It's not really the question, as wondering if this AK is going to stick around. The answer should be heck no. They're sprinting out of heaven, dropping into the B bomb site. See if Twix can get another head. He's quite patient with it, I will say. Almost pulling that out. 0 to 100 with the UPS. USB. Goodness gracious. About my
both of us have, yeah, I was gonna say both of us have had the little slip so far, but it's fine. Lazuli having a little bit of a slip as well, going down with the bomb, but an AK saved over for the CT side is extraordinarily important going into the first gun round of the second half.
So it was the Seneca team that had to requalify in through the spring placement semester. They played 3 matches. They lost the first one. That was to IET Scarlet. That was a 13-11 loss on Ancient, but then back-to-back Mirage victories, 13-6 versus NEU Black and 13-8 versus This is RIT White trying and get Division 1 this semester. Placed well. You also will see that IT squad up in Division 1 as well.
Heavy control towards water for the T's right now. Having 3 players stationed there early on, want to make sure that they have a strong foothold. Twix forced to fall back in through Khan, able to get a pot shot or 2 off before falling back. The T's continue to clamor towards this area. Being a bit telegraphed, I will say, though. I feel like Seneca has a good read of the situation. Dog Lover, an important kill, and that allows the T's to start to push out onto the site. Dusty, good for 1. Make it 2 with the spray down. Festi able to double up for himself. And Dusty closes it out.
Play.
Very nice.
Donnie, that's
done.
so impressive. Love how they line it up. That's a real CT side victory that CSU pulled through to batter that beginning in the second half to really make this overpass kind of spin on its head for a moment. This is kind of the peak of it. Don't tell me you're just about to get these Tech 9s running up connector, though it is the batch of the Deagles, so would assume.
AK does get stationed towards Fountain, the sole rifle in the round for this T side. And space being taken early on. Twix deciding to fall back into connector, and no real presence towards bathroom means the T's, if they want to push, can, but Bob connects with that up. Nicely done. Prince trades back immediately with the AK. Dog Lover. Bit of a foothold onto B, making his way up through bridge. A timing that could be very detrimental for this CT side.
Oh, man. Imagine he catches Stutzy knife out right here. Oh, they find it exactly like that. Gun dropped. Wondering how the heck he got here. You're going to play her up through shorts, and now the mistakes are starting to add up. Bob drops to his level, and he gets 3 frags by sitting in the gut and just picking it up. This was your man. We're talking on the defense. Supposed to watch that timing. Avesti, that's unfortunately how it will go for you sometime, though. That's a big win. Right off the rip of it. Let Seneca get back. This is quite a ridiculous second half. It's already turning out to start to be.
That Dog Lover, I mean, throughout this whole game so far, so much impact with these multi-kill rounds. Sometimes it feels like just putting the team on their back, going straight through and killing everyone in their sight. Trying to hunt down a Festi. I mean, there's a world where maybe he swings the corner, gets the kill, but the headshot from the AK will allow Festi to stay alive, at least for a moment more, as he continues to get hunted. Gets another spray, and he will be able to stay alive and tell the tale as we head into the 17th round. Out back for the CTs. Deagle on Twix, so not everything you want, but a good amount. Enough to definitely make an impact. Dog Lover rushing around, tries to get aggressive with that first shot, but Bob, nice shot with the scoped rifle. Allows the player advantage to fall early for Seneca. But for how long will it last?
A little bit of a confusing mark, seeing Twix not invest too much. Maybe he's not a believer of the new MP7, MP5 SD, Donnie. I ought to get your take on that.
Oh, I am an MP5 believer.
There you go. Love to hear that. Bob, no. You hate to see shot just right over the shoulder in a bad miss. Lazuli cuts that back up. 3v3, finds Twix. That was just the man holding the Deagle.
They want to march straight onto this A-bomb site, Mark. Lazuli on the smoke, Bomb getting aggressive. Dusty playing on the opposite side of it. He is backed up by a Festi as well. Race through, Molotov goes out to clear the truck, and the T's gotta continue to march on forward, jump up, spray, not able to hit. Festi gets the better of it, and Prince forced to try to dance around the smoke, stay alive. Need doesn't quite blow it open, but as it fades, Prince needs to try to double up. Dusty first to fall, and another kill onto a Festi. A lap is stuck on the B-bomb site, worrying about Min Potato, and somehow CSU find themselves in a great 2v1.
This is CSU individually winning rounds like they did at the beginning of the first half. The lap pulls up. That's a bit of an awkward angle that he sees over to APC. And now Min Potato, he has to sprint all the way across the world. There's no tap. In fact, he even runs past an op on the way there. Just star-studded and ready for it. A lap steals that round. Cleveland had no right to lose that. But a lap just working. The effort play pulls that round all the way back.
I mean, that's such a difficult situation to be in when you're the T trying to rotate all around the world, back through bathrooms, coming in from T-spawn, because I don't think he would have been able to even hear the tap of the bomb. He was so far away, so you just need to peek right away, just try to assess the situation you're in. And Alap, I mean, played it great, did exactly what he had to do, and allows this game to still only be a one-round difference, Mark.
The best of Overpass. Now the teams are really getting settled in, figured out after a couple of months, especially in the collegiate space. Before it was removed the first time, the beginning of CS2 was dang classic. You know, kind of same deal with Anubis, to be honest, pulling it back. Didn't get to see it in this series. It's my first Legion Best of 3 I'm casting in the spring, Donnie. It's a great thing to be back. Seeing this boost for the first time back. That's Dog Lover. Just upsetting. The hero of the clutch in the last round. I left gone and he didn't even see what hit him. Out into Monster now. A Dog Lover with a great shot. He's got to just backpedal onto his feet though, Donnie. A great shot in the defense, but he's going to need more.
Need more. His teammates start to aggress. Bob able to get one with the op. It's only him and Twix. Bob actually finding another one. A headshot through the wall leaves us into a 2-on-2. Lazuli flying in from the pit. His teammate falls. He's all by himself. Trying to aggress closer onto Twix. Headshot connects, and now a 1-on-1 against the op. Bob forced to try to aggress. Hits him through the wall somehow, and with such low HP, the pistol doesn't come out. Lazuli able to take advantage of the close range fight. Oh, but what was that from Bob? Stressful round all around.
That is such an insane 1v1 taken all the way out. It's crazy that Bob can't get that completed through such a thin piece of plywood. We all get that spam with the AK. You know it's doable. The timings come down to it. A great headshot taken. Lazuli, what a moment. And again, CSU winning rounds due to their individuals, Donnie.
Comes down to it. I mean, they're just firing off on all cylinders, and nothing against Seneca because they're individually definitely not playing bad, but not quite up to the same level. Dog Lover with this op tries to peek on towards water. No one's showing their signs of life there. Min Potato spots out one in connector. Close range fights from these CTs, depending on how T's choose to fight, might be able to get a kill or two, but I mean, CSU definitely set up in the best possible position to push the lead further and to try to find 11 rounds. Although, Bob, nice headshot to start it off and make that 2 as Twix sprays down 1 with the MP9.
Thankfully, everybody's already on A. We're going to have to deal with one hell of a heated rotation all up through bathrooms. Lazuli, he's got to keep that finger hot, ready to go because he's got 4 names to find. There's the first headshot. Pivots back, and it's an awkward spray. Onto Dutsy. What have you got for me, Marvin? It better be magic. You just saw the shadow, Donnie. Walks back, head turned on a lap. Low HP of Dutsy. Has too many targets to choose from. Seneca hop back on the bomb and have a 9th round. That's what they need. That's Seneca coming together as a team. So when we talk about the difference, I think that's a good thing to point at and say, example A. Seneca now have the money and they, I feel like, have the protocols to take over this CT side.
This is definitely where it does come into play. I mean, the CT side now is comfortable. They're able to fully invest, fully get around, and I feel like they have an idea of what CSU has been bringing to the table on their T side. And now with only Tech 9s, it does seem to be set up for, once again, a tied game. Although, last round, Seneca was only working with pistols, and they were able to pull it through. So maybe there's a world where these Tech 9s can overwhelm with this monster rush.
Here they come, Donnie. They're just going to go for it. And a deadly nade just pops right in their face. It takes him half the way there. And the rest of Seneca says, I'll help you up. All the way to a tied game, Donnie. 10-all.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do. I mean, when you have a basically 200 collective HP get taken by one singular nade, there's nothing you can do. That's kind of the worst possible situation for a Tech 9 rush. And then just clean work from Seneca to get all the kills without really even giving up much damage. But 10-10, buy back out for the T's. Not all AKs, 3 Galils to work with. The gun difference might make a huge impact into this round, as we see who can find penultimate map point first.
Short control. Seneca's got that one right in their hands, and I feel like the information to figure out in Monster 2, they walk through, get eyes on it, and also eyes on the 4 players that are pivoting to them inside of the bathrooms. Bob seems like he wants the problems right here. Sticking inside of long bathrooms, the fights his team needs to take. Can't get the advantage. He's smoked off. Can't even take the angle. Flashed up to Divider. No kills there either, Donnie.
Bob goes down. Nade come out for Twigs. Does decent damage, but surrounded by 3 AK. Somehow staying alive for the time being. His teammate falls on the site, and it is just a surround and drown for CSU. Alap tries to rotate up. Gets one spray onto Flowers, but as he falls, Festi, MP9. 1 versus 4. Decent money to work with for the CTs, but is it even really worth staying around too long? Sprays down 1, not quite able to connect with the kill at first. Eventually picks it up. Continuing to aggress, wants more blood.
He's got some money, a bit of time too. With the comparison of a 1v4 he's got to attempt, that's a grueling thought to toss around in your head. It's 11 up for CSU first. They're just 2 away from taking away Seneca's map pick beginning of this series.
Now look at the buyout for the T's. Everything you could possibly want. The op is out on Prince. Bob once again has the scope. There is a FAMAS for the CTs, but still basically even all around the board. We'll see if Seneca's able to continue to claw back each round, continue to keep this scoreline tied. So Dog Lover, definitely different things in mind. Wants to aggress. Molotov, I was going to say pushes him back, but instead just absolutely eliminates Bob from the server. Man, Dog Lover.
25 and 16.
Beautiful showing.
Ready to watch this guy turn it up on Dust 2. That's what they got next. That was their selection. And that's where the individuals shine the brightest. It's just a cliche way of setting it up, but honestly, I don't think there's any better way to tell it right now. There's a great connector fight. Gain. Oh, but the timing. That is such a gut-wrencher. Still gotten back for the Vikings right here as they take a couple steps further into the 8th bomb site. A lap. He's just domed from the side of the head. Didn't have a chance to react. But Twix is held in the smoke angle. Was looking for more than one, Donnie. And all of Seneca paid the price.
Yeah, I mean, just really good timing out from CSU that round. And at the end of the day, I mean, the gunfight's just going in their favor. And now, your backs are against the wall. You have no money. You're on the CT side. You have to try to defend with everything you have. It's going to be a bunch of MP9s, 157 to work with as well. It does seem that CSU is set up to take us to map 2. We've seen magic from Seneca before. We've seen them pull out a lesser buy win only 4 or 5 rounds ago. Maybe it's time for history to repeat itself, or maybe time for Dog Lover to try to get aggressive in con again.
Fan of this. I mean, they meet up through short right here. They have that info in the position to pivot up connector if they need the numbers there. It feels like they are. Everybody here at Fountain taking this focus. The problem of committing to these positions is that it's really hard to rotate back. This long hit is the main idea. Here's Twix and the pylon. That's the reaction they need. But also, CSU can read this and know that their time to pull up to the site is now.
Dog Lover caught off by a Festi. Best case scenario for Seneca. Marvin does trade back, and Nate onto Twix, brings him down low, but a lap finds another one with the FP9. It does seem that magic can happen more than once as Seneca claws back with the lesser bye and brings us to a full game of regulation here on map 1.
Yeah, and we may go a little bit further than that. I'm not too sure if every single member of Cleveland State at the moment concerned on those rifles are going to be able to get every single nade that they're going to want with it. That's a big time to pick it up. And a great shout to show how team-wise they're great to collapse just together. Take advantage of those pistols. Honestly, the way that you kind of conceptually make up how Seneca are going to look on their CT side, it does too. I'm really loving this team play. It's been pretty impressive today. I think the same for CSU, but where we've sort of been definitely putting more focus on their individuals, and Seneca has been having to make up for that team-wise.
Brains versus Bronze, the storyline that seems to be happening on Overpass. Dog Lover, once they got aggressive and short, if he swings a little too wide, he might have a rude awakening from the player in the pit.
Oh, wow.
Though, able to fall back. A little bit of damage done as well. Strong positioning for the T's. Look at this aggression up through long.
Ready to walk this way. Just looking at Prince's view. This is going to mean the reaction of the map swing that can have somebody here to deal with it, but also they just go on the pop, send a man swinging out to the back of APC. He could potentially see Twix before Twix sees a single person, but this smoke is in a really awkward place, and the smoke is purposefully there to try and just gauge a bomb plant, but CSU got to be reaching a little bit further than that, and they do. They can hear the criticism, and right now, they communicate for a bomb plant, Donnie. They got to take this one all the way home, a risk, but they don't get the reward. Wow.
Aggression continues to not fall in their favor, and now Seneca has the player advantage with these 9 seconds of bomb about halfway tick. Marvin not able to connect with the top, but Min Potato close by. Marvin swings, and now only a Fessy to try to push us forward into overtime. It's just not meant to be. Map 1, CSU able to pick it up 13-11.
Seneca's map pick just wrapped up and sent away. It felt like they were about to get out of regulation, force that overpass into overtime, which would have been just insane, Donnie. Honestly, they probably do deserve to get there just because of that last eco victory, but too close is not the award that we're giving out here. We're giving out that first map, and we're getting all 24. I know we're happy.
Oh, we're always happy, and I mean, it was a great showing, too. Both teams had their very positive aspects, and it seems like Dust 2 is just going to show us more of the same. But before we get there, Mark, we got to cut to a little bit of a break, so stay tuned because more action will be coming to you very, very soon.
There's a place for me. seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Follow the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me.
Well, we're back, and we're about to get revving for map 2. It's that Dust 2, Donnie, that we're about to see thrown up by this Cleveland squad, who clearly are coming in with a vendetta of just streaking off in the frag category. I mean, dude, you got to see an insane game out of a couple of their individuals reaching 25 frags. I believe that was over on the dog lover side, right? I mean,
Yes.
This is where you have a lot of guys popping off. I was pretty impressed with Prince as well. There was a lot to like.
Honestly, I mean, just to mention Dog Lover really quick, because I feel like he needs to be mentioned more. It wasn't only just having so many kills, it was the amount of kills that had impact on the round. Every single time that he was popping off, he was getting a 3K to push his team forward, sometimes in player disadvantaged positions. Very impressive stuff all around. But on the side of Seneca, definitely very good things to talk about as well. They weren't quite able to pull it through, but their consistency with their lesser buys and their team play surrounding those lesser buys really did impress me.
Yeah, and I think that's where, like, clichely, they're going to come to, like, crush that expectation of Dust 2, right? Like, I think
Yes.
basic knowledge of where you can come to perfectly rotate, respond to situations. That's all it is on Dust 2, is having those perfect rotates, Donnie. We know that, and I know that CSU are going to be really depending on probably, I would say that they're likely going to end up on this T side to rip. Honestly, I'm not even to trip over that, to be honest. I think likely, I am hoping and honestly kind of expecting on the temperature of that first map for it to be turned up. I would like to go all 24 again, and honestly, that's where you get the greatest moments of Dust 2. We know that's true.
Oh, of course, Dust 2 is always the best when it's a nail biter, when it's every single round can go either way, and it comes down to the wire. And with Dust 2, on the side of Seneca, I know I sung the praises of Bob, who did have a decent game individually on Overpass. I do feel like if Seneca is going to push through, that Oppa Bob and, the calling on the IGL side needs to be absolutely perfect if they want to just push past CSU and make it to map 3.
Yeah, map 3, if we get there, is going to be a great one, considering it's Mirage, and both of our teams have extensive experience there. Like I said, in the qualifiers that Seneca were playing, they played that out of 2 or 3 of their matches. Mirage was a closer one in this opening game to Boston University over here for the Cleveland side. So, honestly, hey man, if in week 2, the first Counter-Strike broadcast that we have, our first best of 3 go all the distance, then Donnie, I don't know, man. You might just be the good luck charm coming up on this broadcast. You do have charm coming up onto this broadcast. Just too much to handle.
I bring my little flair. But also, I want to say Collegiate brings its own little flair as well. It's very nice to see, once again, I know I harp on this, but as someone who isn't as involved with the college side of this, it is really good to see this. It makes me feel good to be able to watch these teams, watch these players really developed and really push through. But look at this. We got a map. There is a timeout, but nonetheless a map.
I think they're, potentially even in a bad spot. This is the anticlimactic run-up off the ramp, where we pop into the game. I think Seneca popped onto their CT side. I think Bob is going to be going for a quick restart. I have no idea if that's actually what's happening, but I'm putting good vibes out there by saying he's going to be back in less than 30 seconds. Take it.
Oh, yeah, no. Just a quick FPS reset,
Sometimes that'll happen. Hopefully there's no, and, I'm going to say this, it's probably going to happen. Our Counter-Strike broadcast happened on a Wednesday, the same time that we have Rocket League happening on the mainstream as well, which is always a fun time. I love a good car ball, collegiate car ball. We love that out here. Donnie, it's been a couple of years since I played.
I do. Oh, I had a Rocket League phase about a year ago now. Me and my buddies. I am not good.
It's really a skillful game.
Yeah.
A lot of respect to those who are like, apparently our producer, Mr. Time to Light, was a top 7 player in the leaderboards for the first 3 years. Top 3% for the first 7 years. Dude, that's... yeah, we would potentially have a professional career out of TTL. This man's a professional at all levels, Donnie.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I don't know if I've been top 3% in anything ever. So that's impressive to me for 7 years straight.
You're like top 3% Counter-Strike commentators.
Oh, stop it. And you know what?
Made him blush again. Let's go.
Bob is actually top 3% reconnector to the servers. So it's only going to be a few
I
more
hope so.
seconds.
He's
Oh,
also
no, for sure.
top in NA. I'm pretty sure. He's not ranked in the top 100, but I knew this guy was pretty close. He's almost 3K elo. Server's just going to throw him out again. What, does Bob not have the prerequisite requirement for this class?
Yeah, he's got to
college
take CS 101 before you can get into the D1 games. Come on. We know this.
This is true. It's always important to have that little bit of curriculum added to it. I don't know, man. Hopefully we have a couple comp sci majors playing in the server right now. They can just figure it out,
Yeah, just put some code in there, get Python up, you're set.
Save the admins some time, right? That'll unfortunately not be the case. They'll get going.
Unfair advantage. Too many USPs.
Too many USPs. Oh, correct.
I mean, maybe that's what they're doing. They're getting more bullets.
Yeah, no kidding. This is actually just a way to get more guns in the game. It's a bit of a loophole, Donnie. What a strange thing to see.
Yeah, Bob starting off 0-2 as well before pissed around even starting. It's
Dude,
it's not good to see. No.
That's crazy. It's all good.
Oh, see, they're even thinking about it.
This doesn't belong here. This doesn't belong here, they're saying.
What is going on?
We can yap a little bit more about some collegian before we will send it back to a break in a moment. We're talking about that Radford victory over at the Syracuse LAN. That's a really cool thing, Donnie. That's their second LAN that they've been pulling together. Big, huge shout out to Senshi, who I know is obviously the program guy over there, playing on the team, also helped develop, I'm pretty sure is the lead guy with a couple other very talented gentlemen that Donnie, the collegiate space needs an HLTV. There was always me and Vinny, talking about that, trying to keep track of the games and looking around. They last season pulled up with College Counter, a website to organize all of that information, journalists writing news articles about these collegiate teams, and really, making it feel like a full throughout community here. And that's something that's been really cool. So shout out to Senshi for, being a guy that I remember, running into him at Launders Land 2, Donnie. I know that was a bit of a rocky one for us. You got to play on the stage, though. You got to play on the stage. Hey, man, it was good. It was good. Senshi came up to me and Vinny there and was like, we're running the first LAN in Syracuse for collegiate teams. And then this time, they got 7 of the top 10 teams out there right before the spring semester. Playing a little ball, going all the way down to lower tunnels. Dribbling. Reminder of Rocket League on our main stream.
Well, we're going to have to get reminded of the game we're playing as Dog Lover. Jumps up, able to collect one, a trade back immediately from Dusty, and it puts a little bit of a stop to the T's plans to push through Cat. Dog Lover, it's a little fancy around the smoke, but it will end up costing him his life. Now CSU, they feel the need to continue to push forward. They're going to try to flash up through Cat. The CT's not quite in the position to actually stop the push, so bomb site selected for them, although I don't know if the kills are going to fall their way instead. I say that's a double.
Mini Potato, that's the round flipped on his head, and now Mini Potato's got to get this angle. I mean, Mini Potato wants the star, now separated from the site. He's so far in CT. Gonna get access to this bomb for free, and just hopping up on this angle again, you will regret it. Seneca break down the door, grab themselves a pistol round into their map pick, their opponent's selection. This is exactly how CSU started it off.
And it's a good sign of things to come. You're definitely going to want to make sure you start off hot, especially after such a close game in the last one. You're not able to quite pull it through towards the finish line. A good start on map 2 leads us to a chance to really get the mental back in the position to push it towards a third. A little bit of a Freudian slip there. I feel like that's a college thing, you know?
I took a psych class. You'll know what's what. Pavlov's dog and all that. Run down here with their digs.
Ooh.
Hopefully they can condition something with this. Maybe to be a bit afraid of Dog Lover. But I do say we've already learned that to this point. I think that's a little bit of utility damage coming around. Now peppering with 9mm. Back and forth. Prince 1v3. Still with the bomb on his back and the dig to go.
Chance to make magic happen, but flashed off and getting completely surrounded. Unless the Deagle goes absolutely insane, it is a closed case. It is a second round for Seneca, and it is a chance now for CSU to buy into this third round.
Excited to see what Bob can do and kind of star stud on this map. Gonna be maybe a minute before we see him get up the top. But of course, that was the big change made on this roster. I've already kind of spoke about it. The upper last season. Talking about Arvan stepping back, the previous in-game leader. You know, you shuffle around those roles. You know, you kind of pull in a guy that played advanced for a couple of seasons. He even played back on ESCA, just couldn't get that info. Hit a pause on that. Resume on Dutsy's hold, which starts off well, but he's gonna have to reload and feel like succumb to this. Down at low HP, Dutsy pulls off a second kill. Nobody's seen Bob drop into the back of the bomb site, but Lazuli still holding strong as a kill comes down the middle, and Marvin seems to have a hold on this round.
Very nice done to crack their way onto the B bomb site. As the MP9 rotates in through tunnels, it's going to have to try to take a long-range fight. Doesn't seem like anyone's focused on the initial push-up of Tons, but as soon as the corner gets crossed ahead, spotted. Festi tries to tap away, sprays through the smoke. A beautiful kill on a Marvin, and now a real chance to push onto the site and get the second kill. A beautiful clutch from a Festi and a way for Seneca to continue to keep it flawless.
He said he had the chance to make magic. We multiplied that all the way to a third. Beautiful break where CSU denied the flood. This was where he thought they were just going to flip on the switch, begin to turn the tide on the T side. Well, they're just going to have to wait their turn, I'm afraid. It's still Seneca's moment. They get to blow up with another gun round, right? So it's not going to be too sore for it right next door. But round 4 is where I think a long fight may be on for an assumption. He's considered. Nothing concrete.
Considered by heavy util. Yeah, util blocks him out for now. And Potato wants to aggress a little bit, but more smokes and utility does block him out. Cat presence is what's important for the side of CSU. As a lap, defending it with the FAMAS, a chance to get overwhelmed by the superior rifles as soon as his smoke fades. Spraying through, gets a dake onto Prince. Falls back, perfectly timed. I mean, a great way to start the round in a nade that does big damage to Bat.
And Potato gotta be thorough here at long and concerned about every corner, concerned about Pit, but Festi still finds him in the end. This Seneca defense is finding every damage that they need to tick. Here's the take up at A, and it looks to be as potent as they wished. Festi has to come back. He's already 2 kills deep in this round. We have a player hiding inside of the elevator. The swing up top of the headshot. 2 clutches in a row delivered in 1v2 fashion. Seneca holds on to these every single time and will not seize.
Disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. 2 clutches in a row for Festi, starting off hot 6-1, as well as Dusty 7-3, trying to show up to Dog Lover and their performance on the first map. There won't be an op in play this side, or this round for the CT side, excuse me. But still definitely in the advantage considering the utility on the T side. Still plenty to work with, but probably a little bit less than they would desire.
Bob's squad is flawless through the first 4. You see him call a good game. Looking to spot how the CSU squad can sort of turn up their next tally. Sort of call by committee seemed to have worked in the first map that we walked onto. Twix walks into CT, finds a good frag on a dog lover. Quite a name to find too, with a minute 10 to tick. No big utility up cat, but they're still swinging, and Svamas is really having a hard time. A lap sees Twix gone, and then actually the ramp position is blown up as well. Bob and Off SD are going to be reaching into this site quite far outside of it, but the HB isn't the worst thing in the world. Potentially line them up, Donnie, and he does.
They'll trade it back now. If SD forced to try to convert a 3rd clutch in a row. Lazuli seems to know the position. Creeping around, dancing around the boxes. If SD needs to start to get the jump on, jumps up on the boxes. Is the timing going to work in their favor? It does. A 3rd clutch in a row and a 5th round on the board for CT side. Great things showing on this second map so far.
Donnie, they cannot keep getting away with this. Crazy work. 3 1vx scenarios converted in a row for Seneca. About time that CSU take a timeout and talk about this one, because honestly, there's not much that probably needs to. I mean, they're in round-winning positions. They've just got to take a deep breath on their end. Seneca, the team that we were praising in the first map for that team play, was showing up with that early. And now sort of where that kind of breaks down is there individuals that are coming through. That's the answer we were also looking to see gap from the first map. And I seem to be satisfied on that, Donnie. I don't know about you, but this is a great temperature to be at.
Exactly what you need. A timeout called already. Try to get all the ducks in a row before we head into the 6th round. I mean, the side of CSU, I feel like they're putting themselves in good situations. It's definitely not like they're getting blown out of the water in these rounds. They're just not quite able to close it out in those individual gunfights, especially in the retake situations.
Festy, a different positioning. He pushes lower this round. When all the eyes look to him, you're going to get the worst of this setup back from Catwalk. But it's all bested. And now caught mid-round. CSU, they didn't want to let things come down to the wire like the last couple. So they just wind this one out in less than 30 seconds.
Good change of pace. Able to convert the first round. Definitely a well-used timeout. Pooling their sources together to be able to pick apart this CT side. And I mean, it does leave Seneca in kind of a weird spot. They are going to have a hero rifle being picked up by Twix. And a lap on an MP9. Besides that, just pistols to round up the rear.
Quick way to see that lead crumble, but that's also the reality of multiple 1vx situations in a row. Quick one tap down below by Bob. Hands over a little bit of hardware. That's another premium rifle that Seneca are given access to.
I think Twix did spot out Lazuli on the other side of the smoke, spraying with that 5.7. Not able to get anything done with it, but instead he will be jumped on from a top. MP9 able to convert 2, and now somehow Bob and Dusty are even, at least in numbers, compared to the T's. The bomb goes down. Molotov blocks off the cat push for now, but still a very real chance for Seneca in this.
CSU been problematic in these rounds. Lost all the other 1vx's. A missed shot for Min Potato, who is somehow keeping his life alive. Long swing wide from Prince, but he is not able to place his team in a winning position for the clutch. It's Seneca that just keeps it coming. It's their 6th round, but it's their 4th clutch.
Yeah, which is honestly a crazy stat line. Especially when 3 of them are the same player. Dusty wants to put their name on the
No
board.
kidding.
An interesting game. I feel like that's the only way to describe it right now with the way that these rounds are playing out. I will say at the end there, Seneca, great teamwork to just play that swing perfectly, find the player Goose. Although Bob goes down, his teammate right behind to back up. And I wonder what CSU really needs to do to get the difference towards the end of these rounds. I don't think they're necessarily playing it bad. I think Seneca is just individually playing these clutches very, very smart. And of course, aim coming into factor there too, just hitting their shots.
Trying to pick on him in Potato. Getting a little desperate. Walking out upper tunnels. Taken away. Side defense. Let's see. Unfortunately, that smoke just comes up in his face at the wrong play. Dog Lover is going to be gambling on this timing. The crunch into the upper B bomb site, though. Got to take out these two players they know are here. Marvin, he's unsuccessful with that. Twix elsewhere. This hit is barely even able to happen. Dog Lover maybe a little bit of leverage in CT, but now it's all they have. They slowed up when they got right outside of those doors, Donnie. I'm honestly not sure what happened.
Well, what I am sure of is the end result. Seneca coming up in spades, 7-1. Already a great half. I will say, in fairness to CSU, definitely not out of the game yet. I know you definitely have in the past, and I as well have seen these gigantic like slides in positioning on Dust 2 specifically. It's definitely a game of momentum. It only takes one round for CSU to try to crack through and be able to pull quite the comeback off.
I agree. I mean, we've already mentioned that 4 of the rounds have been due to clutches. However,
yes,
that last Seneca CT victory seems to be the most repeatable. It felt like CSU were obviously walking Min Potato out upper tunnels to try and find that opening kill. It's not something they're going to do every time, but maybe that middle to B is, right? And that was the proper response. Seneca giving them the praise for, you know, the theoretical reactions they were going to have to that team play-wise. Flashes up Cat. Seneca, they're going to be on a very uncomfortable spot with this, considering Marvin finds Bob elsewhere. Long corner fight is lost. Goodness gracious.
Again.
He's fall on his head? Okay, no, he was still just right up there. That was crazy looking.
Thought it was the Goomba Stomp for a second.
Oh, yeah.
Change of pace again, working in CSU's favor. I mean, these faster paced rounds does seem to be able to catch Seneca off guard. It's a chaotic way to pick up the second round, but nonetheless, a second round and a clean one at that.
Full long send. Cleveland State just figure alt 5 is enough at long. We're just going to keep things simple. I think that's the best solution. They grouped up and hit well just in the previous round on Catwalk. Maybe the utility is, you know, maybe a little bit more than really ugly. Those smokes were biffed kind of horribly. But they'll bring them up. They'll get there. You only need one smoke for that crossing. You just got to place it right.
Oh, that one definitely placed a little bit better, and now kills do start to fall into the tease laps after the bomb has already been planted. Thus, he almost a chance to backstab. 5-7, only able to come up with one, and a Festi, no chance in hell for the round. 3 now, 2 of which in a row for CSU, and a chance is looking more and more likely to have this half be a little bit more competitive than maybe we once thought.
Already seeing the wiggle room kind of for him here at the end of this first half. I mean, up to a 7-5 would be perfect shooting, and well, there's a great part to the pull. Flanking through the doors, Donnie. 15 seconds have passed. Clearly, Seneca, they have a big idea about what's important to them in this round. It's middle control. They have 3 players here, and the only witness still living is Bob. He gets to see this destruction. CSU, it seems like they've been provoked a bit. Oh, hearing so much. Bob has to make noise coming down, though, from the big box.
could have been so good if there wasn't a smoke in his way. First spray to be found, but that's all she wrote. That's an end to the 11th round. Power play out from CSU once more. Just complete aggression down through mid. And now with the final round of the half, CT's, look at the money. There's nothing to really work off of. A scout's going to be bought and an MP9. You figure we'll round out the rest. But very good mental fortitude for CSU to be able to stay within this and make it a very close half after all. Presumably.
I would say the energy is definitely back, right? The eye
Yes.
test, I think they're passing. Another aggressive start. And that's towards upper tunnels where Nightmare Fuel, the bomb has been dropped.
Oh, dare I say, has it been cursed? Once again, the low buys are just so good for Seneca. Flash through, Dog Lover wants to get aggressive, but Dusty able to connect with the AK headshot. Min Potato, interesting spot with this op on a flank. Try to help out his teammate Prince. Smoke goes down. Min Potato is going to be getting watched, but able to at least connect a nice op shot. Bring it a little bit closer to a feasible situation.
This is so awkward. Min Potato now. He should just be taken out by the blade. Bob, right between the shoulder blades, he said it's fine enough. He's an elbow. This would be impossible for Prince to pull out all 3 of these kills. Not enough bullets. Not enough room to breathe. Here at the end of the first half, door is shut right in CSU's face. Considering this is their map pick, that's a bit of a rude sentiment.
Yeah, definitely a way to take the wind out of your sails. But at the end of the day, it's still anyone's game. A pistol round will go a long way in order to keep the chances of CSU alive to close this series out 2-0. Or Seneca continue with their strength and fortitude to try to send it to a third. That would be Mirage if we do get there.
A lot of advanced positioning here for CSU. Dog Lover onto Bob. Now the players from over tunnels should destroy him. Do turn out to be the case. A lap with his dualies. Now it feels like Seneca may be stuck inside of middle. They've been seen.
Heads up play to try to double back towards long now. Dusty seemingly will flash his teammate in. Exactly what happens. Good control coming out for them. A lap tries to make their way up. Cat being noisy about it allows CT and mate to try to push through, but the crux of the fight's gonna happen out towards the bomb site. Prince, good headshot to start off. Now has a contest with the long push. Dusty leading the way into 53 on 3. And the pistol's able to tap away. Long range fight for these dual Berettas, but the USP cleans up nicely. Dusty, all she wrote. 5 rounds secured for SCU now, and that's exactly what they needed to get back into the game.
Yeah, this will give them more than new life. I feel like this is their entire sort of subscription to this Dust 2 refreshed. The next couple of rounds at least. Financially able. Feels like they're just going to breeze past a Glock round with at least a couple of flashes behind it. Hands of Prince.
Chance to maybe catch Prince off. Prince is gonna regress though with the flashbang. A team kill. MP9 finds one. Time to fall back. You have no more health left, but somehow Marvin able to save him for the time being. And Negev, I seem to have missed that. Okay.
I don't think he fired a bullet. I would have been alarmed as well. Forgive me, maybe I'm not paying close enough attention and see that until you mentioned it. Dog Lover, you're supposed to be the one that's focused on coming back. You know, if that thing is anywhere else but flat on B, I'm going to be disappointed. Seems like that's exactly where it's headed, thankfully. No.
No, it's going cat.
Up cat. That's crazy. That's even better, maybe. Out long.
the CTs,
that's a
yeah.
perfect flash. Gotta defend himself now. Prince, that's not such a good pop. Gonna get a little bit of help himself, and now maybe that will drop one kill, luckily, into his hands. Doesn't seem to be how that turns out. Maybe a regular gun would have been better.
Yeah, long range fight, definitely not what the Negev wanted to see, and either way, it's a clean round for Seneca. Not a single body to drop. Really good long take there, very clean, able to separate the CT fights, not over aggress, get caught out by those flashbangs. Seneca still look to try to close it out quickly. But Dog Lover is on a rifle now, so, you know, the fun and game is over. This is serious business.
This looks to be a little bit more legitimate. The B play, it's going to be red. I'm not sure it's going to be able to have the proper response considering the second B player and the first are already dead in 20 seconds. Dog Lover going to be right outside. But this is a great execution. I don't think there's going to be an excuse to let you into the B bomb site. Gutsy, he lost his life a little bit earlier. All three of these players are here. And Dog Lover, the man that was closest the entire time, is the man that's sprinting back the fastest. He knows that it is just not doable at all.
You got to take the small victories where you can, and if you're able to save these guns into the next round, it definitely would be a victory, not on the round counter, but an economical one at the very least. Seneca first to find double digits here on Dust 2. I don't think there's really going to be much of a chance for them to hunt down these rifles. So, 10-6 the score line, 3 CT staying alive. CSU now slowly getting their backs pushed further and further into the wall.
Feels like they're going to have a scraggly bye headed into this one. Still not featuring another Negev by Dog Lover. Not so confident to go up back on that foot now, are we? Losing the game even further. I really am kind of irked by that. I feel like that first rifle round is one that shouldn't have been taken so lightly. That trade early. They had another body up there too. But the brawl is already successful for that Seneca side. Scout sprinting around. You got Lazuli available as well, but maybe not the round entirely.
Low HP on 2 of these Ts. I mean, still a situation that isn't completely dead. Although the shots need to connect if that wants to come to fruition. Not quite able to be done. Lazuli, M4 on the wrong bomb site. Only one left. And in all honesty, better try your hardest to save. Better start running now because the M4, the money on the CT side, is really the best shot you're going to have into the next round.
It feels like that CSU pistol start promising, you know, essence that it was bringing. Not there for very long. Get this Lazuli, save for it. And honestly, a better development of this Seneca team, who obviously are certainly rolling off of a pretty unique first half with the amount of clutches they get off of it. But I think because of that, we're definitely anecdotally saying that these individuals are coming through a little bit more consistently in this second map than compared to the first.
Yeah, I think that's, you know, just as big of a talking point as the team play with the side of Seneca. It's a combination of both, but either way, there's still a chance for CSU. Penultimate point for Seneca. If it was time to stop them, now would be the best time. Although, while I say that, CT side is only on these pistols. Pistols have done good this series so far. But how much better can it do? I'm going to venture to say it's going to be rough.
Thankfully, I'm predicting a beautiful third map of Mirage. I think that's probably where we're going to get the peak of the series. Hell, I know the first map was 24 rounds right before an OG. I feel like on paper, that's where we would sort of add up the numbers. Rate that the highest. All about that. Seneca seems like they're going to squash their opponent's map pick. A little bit more polished from, you know, where... Oh my god.
Just through the
NECS.
same
NECS.
smoke twice.
It's okay, guys. It's okay. It's all good. Seneca, look, they're up by this much. 6 rounds. However, it's okay. You know, you're not always gonna pull out with a perfect report card, Donnie. Like, it's hard to get all A's. Here comes Prince. Ace this test. Wouldn't have to get all 5. Would have to probably impress further than that, considering the time. No kit to save the AK.
Yeah, although the utility might keep them off the Dean's list, at least for this semester,
The Deans.
it is still a good round out from them. A few more bodies hitting the floor than they probably would have wanted, but it doesn't matter. They're on map point. They're on their chance to push the series further. And it is CSU now. 6 rounds in a row would be needed, and that would only get them to overtime.
You know, I made the Dean's list last semester, Donnie. Oh, yeah.
I made the Dean's list once. It was my final semester of college. I'm
W.
proud of you, Mark. Yeah.
W. I think our producer just
That
said
was-
everybody making the Dean's list nowadays.
Yeah, he said they'll let anyone in there. That's hurtful,
down
but you
me.
know what's
He's-
even more hurtful? The potential to lose your map pick. And that's what CSU faces right now, as Dog Lover wants to get really aggressive into mid. A good find for the first kill, but long control now being taken for the tease.
Bob holding.
Ooh.
Fortunate miss. I feel like just too tunnel visioned on it. Having to protect. Take that. Such a prediction. The premature spray. Telegraph that play. Man advantage for CSU, and the collateral up by Marvin. Keep this thing moving on Dust 2 for the Vikings.
You know what? Maybe that's the way to get the blood pumping a little bit. Dog Lover, good aggression early on. An op collat from Marvin allows CSU to stay alive a little bit longer. If they could just do that 1 or 2 more times, they'll find themselves in a position where the money's broken for the tees, and they'll actually have a chance to really make this a conversation. Although, with that being said, for the time being, Seneca still shouldn't feel too much pressure on their shoulders.
In this B site now, through a Molotov, they gotta take it. They're gonna wipe their feet in the fire, but maybe they'll stay in the flames. What a hold by CSU so far. Takes his pivot back to pull a lap. No 1v4 attempt. CSU, that's what we've been waiting for.
Dominant showing. 2 in a row make it. The tees, I mean, now they come to the crossroads of their money being in a spot where it is a little bit more tight. Utility's not going to be perfect for them. CSU need to capitalize now more than ever, because there is still a realistic chance for them to try to push it to overtime. I mean, especially when you're on a CT side that has 3 AKs in the bank right now, you got to be feeling pretty good.
Not that far of a comeback. Not too high of a hike. Dog Lover, another opening kill. Killing hard on this line. Can't quite catch the top of the head. Dog Lover right behind the fire. A great trade off that HE. Playing it slow, or Seneca. Oh my gosh. They're playing dodgeball with this guy. Marvin's still alive. He just had that double kill in the sight. Feels like he was right there. Focused for a fight. Lazuli catching some shots through the door. Thankfully, he's not down. But now absolutely is off of the confirmed positioning.
Kills back and forth each way, a little bit sloppy, but it doesn't matter. The op able to confirm one more now. Festi Has to clutch again. Already 3 clutches in this game. Can he make it a 4th? Can he push it over the finish line? Can the patience of Prince maybe allow CSU to stay alive? Tell the tale once more. It's not meant to be. It is a Festi being the MVP of the map, and it is Seneca pushing us to a map 3.
Festi with 20 kills deep in this thing. Star-studded individual performance that he just put up. And a great effort for Seneca here to bring us to a best of 1 at the end of our series, to bring us to our final map of Mirage Buckethead. I think this is the result that we were looking for. This is the first Counter-Strike broadcast that we're here, spring 2026 season, starting it off right.
Yeah, you always got to be excited for a best of 3 that goes all the way, and especially on these types of maps where you really have the chance to see these individual players flourish to their best ability. And now more than ever is that individual play going to matter. Going into map 3, both of you traded your map picks. One was a little bit closer than the other one. Dust 2, I mean, it did come close at the end, but, you know, to an extent, a bit of filler rounds. But Mirage is where all the money is going to be on the table. And Mark, I got to tell you, I'm pretty excited.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited too. I'm excited for the Seneca side. I don't know, Donnie. I feel like odds are looking like we could end up in a reverse sweep, just straight up on the table. You know, I mean, the way that they take their opponent's map pick in just a little bit finer fashion is great, considering they also have the 2 wins in their back pocket already from the qualifiers to get into the 2026 season that took place on Mirage. I think is a great sentiment, but it's a little bit of a break that we're going to be having before that 3rd map pulling up to Mirage. But to remind you, we have some great Rocket League heading on our A stream out to it as well. Back-to-back streams that we got, a lot of esports we got popping off here at the beginning of the NECC season. But we will be right back in a couple minutes time to finish out our first series.
All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the lights of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. All I seek to find is a world that's mine. Need a place to hide. Will you free my mind? Following the light of a world that's blind. In your eyes I see there's a place for me. There's a place
we're back and shooting 100% from that line, Donnie. We're going 3 for 3 in maps tonight, and I couldn't be happier to report that. It's a great time to be right back into the collegiate semester here in a competitive group, right? We've already talked about Group D, including teams like RIT, right? This is going to be a hot one, and where each one of your best of threes are very valuable. I mean, considering where this CSU team did forfeit their first one, this one is going to be worth a lot in terms of, where the round differential comes through, where they got to make up for that first best of 3. There's a lot riding on it.
100%. And Mirage, a great battlefront to test it on. Both these teams looking to push themselves forward to their first win of the season. Of course, this being the second game of the season, so still plenty of time. But Mark, we didn't do much predicting within this matchup. I actually want to hear from you. We've been able to see both these teams in situations where they pull through on a map. What do you think going into this third?
Yeah, I mean, I know what I was just yapping about right before we went to break, end of the half. It's easy to see this going the way of Seneca. I don't think that's what I would have said coming into the series, which I think is a little bit interesting, but I feel like a fool, seeing them, like, honestly get a good grow in their first series. Like, I think that, where it's, excuse me, I am mixing up that they actually forfeited their first game over to Fisher Detonate, and CSU had that 2-0 loss. Let me correct myself. But, with that said, of Seneca pulling up, and I feel like answering the, call of the individual talents of, 5 clutches I think they had in totality, 3 of them, illustrated by the same guy, is just a line that I feel like the energy you can't rip away. I feel like Seneca is going to take this Mirage. How about you, Donnie?
I have to venture to say the same. I really feel like Seneca will be able to put that a bit higher level of team play that we talked about a few times to the test here on Mirage. Mirage, obviously one of the oldest maps in Counter-Strike, a map where everything is known, yet somehow new things develop every single time the map is played. I'm excited to get into the third one, as we do have a pistol round. Seneca starting on that T side.
Expectations high for them, but also for Dog Lover, who had a great individual mark in this second map. Can say the same about the entire series. Has really been popping off all day. Hopefully he isn't running out of gas just yet. Gonna get his second kill, and this hit hasn't even gotten started yet. Seneca now reaching out onto the A bomb site, but it could be going worse for them. Another kill goes the way of CSU, but Bob is here to save the day. He's got 2 kills on the Glock, but I mean, he would really have to swoop in with that cape in the 1 versus 3. Can't get it done.
A strong start for the CT side. Like you touched on before, Seneca having to forfeit their first game of the season. CSU losing it 2-0 to the Boston Terriers. So both these teams really looking to make a name for themselves right now. And I think a thing that hasn't really been touched on a lot that you've mentioned a few times, but the way that CSU handles their actual in-game planning, where there is a bit more of a hive mind, where all these players do have input, is a really good way for these players to be able to grow their strengths and grow as a Counter-Strike player and as a competitor. Everyone having say, being able to put their minds to the work is important. Festi, first kill with the Deagle in top mid. Prince wanting to aggress, maybe not the smartest idea, as no kill can be landed. He does find 1, and 2 are traded back for the CTs, but somehow a player advantage for these pistols has me a bit stressed out. Traded back. Still a 2-on-2. What is happening? It's a 1-on-1. Dusty collects with the M4. Absolute madness in mid. And Seneca strikes straight back into the second round. Oh, boy.
Yeah, CSU not looking very punctual there. If that's the polish that they're going to be putting on top of these rounds, one after another, then you better start getting the answers to those worries early. I think that at least it's a, looking at the positive side, a reality check here, but also a wake-up call in terms of their half already looking to get bent out of shape.
Lone smoke in mid. No one will be on the opposite side of it, so just a few shots through it before Marvin decides to fall off. Majority of these T's grouped up towards the apartments alongside the bomb. Utility is being set up. It does seem it's just going to be a quick B split, some through cat, some through apartments. Molotov down. A Festi first kill in. I don't really think CSU is going to have much of a chance to get anything done within this third round.
Pops off with a great shot, though. Hides in the fire, the flame, the gas that comes up, nade smoke. You can kind of imagine. Dog Lover with another one of these digs. I don't have as much wonder about these positions, but now that the AK is pulled, I could potentially lift my brow for this. I'll set it back down until something more exciting happens. Seneca gonna pull up and take their lead on the third map. Team out of Toronto. Like I said, me and Vincent got to see them once in the spring semester. It's an interesting scene, but we're looking at British Columbia University, won a lot of the LAN competition, online competitions that they had there in Canada, just for, I feel like, the collegiate scene up there. University of British Columbia, my apologies. Thank you for the correction, my lovely producer, Time to Light. But it was U of T, that University of Toronto team you've also seen show up at a couple of tournaments, do well online. They actually came back in the day to Launders Land. That was a good one. A couple of those players have since moved on. However, you got quite a tenuous scene up there in Canada.
If I'm not mistaken, I believe Bob is a former winner of Launders Land. The not one or two, the one that happened
Originally?
yeah, the original one. Bob was on a team. I don't remember the name of it.
Was he on the team with Drop and those guys that won? You could be right about that.
Yes, I believe
Shout
so.
from you, Tom.
Oh, I got an extensive knowledge, and what Seneca has right now is an extensive knowledge of how to take this A bomb site completely swept through. Although losing one, they still have a nice foothold. Bomb soon to be planted. Smokes down on CT. And CSU with the chance now to try to retake. A player down. A good flank from Dog Lover. The Deagle rings to be true. The one may need to be found, and that's exactly what happens. Always good for a multi-kill. Spraying down
What?
a third one found with the Deagle, and Prince closes it out. CSU keeps us at a tied scoreline.
Dude, keeping us on our toes as well. What type of results are this? About to give you a heart attack. Just whipping back and forth. It was about to be Dutsy to pull it off again. This time the Vikes reach through. And pulling back for Cleveland at a tie game at a 2-2. I'm not sure which is more impressive.
Well, I'm not sure what's going on some of these times. All these rounds coming down to the wire throughout this whole series. Sometimes it is, but all I know is that we're definitely going to have a barn burner of a third map. Again, it was overpass, the pick of Seneca. That was 13-11 in favor of CSU. Then on Dust 2, Seneca stabbed back 13-8. It all comes down to Mirage.
Marvin looked like he was going to get active early. It seems like we were looking at the wrong part of middle. Lazuli gets back with his A4, finds that opening fight. Esty and the rest of Seneca sit sturdy, wait for that middle re-smoke so that they can take their next steps, once they decide what they're going to be.
Bomb's starting to make its way through the apartments. Potential for a B split as the clock does start to strike past 1 minute. Marvin and Lazuli both good for a kill apiece, and now it's only the two players coming in through apartments with it all to do. Twix, a nice shot early on. Lap. We'll find one with the Tech 9, but Lazuli there perfectly to trade. CSU strike themselves in the lead.
That's a great look for Lazuli, an awesome 4K. I feel like to finally get some energy going off that CSU victory, and genuinely a point where it's not such a bang-bang play, that's a bit of a more clean protocol that they can lean out to. Lazuli, one of these players. Everybody else other than Prince, Ghost, former member of this roster, have that former ESEA League experience. I feel like that's just taking those next couple of steps and noticing how well this roster continues to develop. You got a stopwatch, Donnie? Because that one was quick, out in like less than 4 seconds when the fight took place.
very good way to clean up against those pistols. Want to make sure that all of those are as successful as possible. You don't drop any weapons. Let your economy build up, especially on the CT side, where we all know it's a lot harder to make sure your money is in the right spot. But speaking of money in the right spot, the T's back with the guns out, back with the rifles, and plenty of utility to bat. The real test seems to be here on round 7.
Marvin getting active again. This time, it is predicted. Bob read that thing straight off the front cover of Vesti and Seneca. Sort of look to the same default once again. It sounds like a criticism, but they haven't really been able to run it exactly the way they want to in order to result in the play later in the round. Kind of feels like every advantage is one that they're getting in a momentary pause. This is all they need, though. Position to the top of connector. And honestly, a fight. I thought Bob was going to lose there for a moment. You got Prince coming to the top of con. You have this strain at default. And Dog Lover, the turret, is just a terror. Takes away 3 of these names, and he is not done yet.
Will be put to his demise, but it is only a Festi left against Min Potato, and Prince stuck on the Tetris boxes, tries to creep his way around. CT's not giving up any fights, wanting to play this as safe as possible. Shouldering is spotted out. A nice headshot leaves us into a one-on-one where maybe this is a bit more believable, but Prince will put those dreams to rest and allows his team to continue to climb further ahead in the lead.
Yeah, this is 4 rounds in a row, shuffled together by Cleveland State. These are significant moves being made one at a time. It kind of feels like the way we're moving, they're pouring it on a bit. It's going to feel that for the next 60 seconds as well, unless Seneca are about to go crazy again on the pistols. Could be timely for that. I think they would love something to drop in their laps. Wouldn't we all? Push down lower. Dog with an opening frag.
Dog, always good to open up the rounds. 13-4 already. Just an incredible series out so far. Good damage with the utility.
Finally
He's
get
stuck.
that lap out.
Oh,
Somebody stop this
my.
guy.
Oh, Bob able to stop more than just him. 2 kills with that Tech 9, but still a situation where T's left scratching their head of what exactly they need to do to try to claw back into it. CSU, a good setup, focused towards mid. T's are able to escape, not before Prince able to secure one more. And now Bob, 30 HP left into the 1-on-2.
To 30. Bob will keep it walking confidently, though. All he has to do is answer the call of ladder here, head turn, and sprayed in the backside. Min Potato ends up that round, stands there, winning formula to 5. However, I figure that was the round they wouldn't have had issues with coming up against the Pistols. A couple of casualties out here for the Vikes. But they can quickly replenish that with another round victory. Seems that easy.
Maybe it is just that easy. Opt back out for this T side. It is kind of the part of the game where you have to look yourself, if you are Seneca, and say, we need to get something rolling on this side. We need to put ourselves in a position for the second half to be able to fight, be able to make a mistake and still have a chance to go further into the game. But losing a player early on and having that be your opper, not the hottest start you could have.
Definitely not. Hate to see that. But there's Dog Lover. Always getting his. Let's see. A bit closer into bottom middle. Still going to deal with this rifler as he lives out under again, but the nades will fish him out. Both of these opinions, pulling from the CT side, are going to be yelling from A. Scoped in for it, got to reposition. Alap has got to know the next visit would be through window. And because he's not given that answer, he's wondering, where Marvin has gotten off to.
CT's choosing to play this one separate. Lap is going to be forced to take info here. CSU playing this very passively, very smart. And with Lazuli tucked all the way back into Palace as Lap does begin to clear the site. 30 seconds left. Has to try to plant this bomb. Lazuli hears it, can take his time walking out. Lap, back turn, sprayed down. CSU continue to stay strong.
7th, they get to roll up. Smoking out this Mirage from every end of Seneca. 5-round lead in the first half, linking together 6 rounds in a row. In the kickflip, for good measure, of course.
You know, I'd rather see the kickflip come out than the Negev again. So
No kidding.
I like that form of having fun. But what, like, Seneca, it's weird. I feel like they're playing their protocols the way they want to, and it's not necessarily going bad, but then you have players like Dog Lover, who, in all honesty, are just running through the map, taking space, and taking 2 or 3 players every single round. It's such a difficult thing to try to contest against when someone is just firing on all cylinders.
So in response to that, this time they keep it simple. Group up. It's going to be the B play. Minpot gets destroyed on the end around, but you can call it even. Taken away by the Team Molotov. And in fact, it gets a little bit worse for this post-plan defense. Marvin, though, crawls this back. It's a 3v3, Donnie. Now the flank is making a difference. I wasn't even aware of this factor. It snuck up so quickly to now getting active because there's a man back in the apartments and there's really nowhere to get comfortable. Gutsy gets it started, and no! A missed opportunity of the spray. No more bullets left in this AK. Pulls off the reload.
No way.
Manages to pivot for all 3 frags. An unbelievable clutch, but one that Seneca needed the most.
Desperation allows beauty to be seen, and Dusty, no bullets left in his AK, somehow scrambles behind that pillar, pulls off the reload, and beautifully connects with 2 kills to allow his team to have just a little bit more breathing room within this game. Greatly done by him, but still, it's Seneca with their backs against the wall. A MAC-10 out as opposed to an AK when, you know what, albeit CSU also with an SMG in, so maybe a bit more even. And I first thought, Bob, very aggressive with this op. No opening kill found yet. Said trades back and forth. A very violent and messy way to start the round. Either way, the T's getting decent control onto the bomb site.
Absolutely do. Nathan goes a little bit further than that. See if Seneca can link these up for the 5 rounds in a row. But CSU managed to ricochet together. Honestly, I feel like the discussion here is to actually place their foot as firm as they have it on this round. It feels like their investment in round 12 is just going to be terrible if they don't take these guns away. So this is honestly a risk I do not agree with. But there is 2 kills that come out of thin air. And the problem here on the kits is you got to make it happen. But the instant trade onto Dutsy, everybody's dead. It's an 8th round for CSU as they recover from the 1 versus 3.
Just as you think, Seneca have a chance with the way that they entered onto that bomb site. CSU still continue to take it away. And now the final round of this first half. A messy game, but I mean, CSU proving both of us wrong. We thought Seneca were going to be able to come in on Mirage and show a bit of prowess and really let their full wings expand, but CSU seems to have clipped them. Unable to fly, unable to get anything done. A 4th round would be a lot better than 3. Still not a great start to Mirage.
It's on to Marvin. Seneca at least want to find 4. Likely to be found through Dutsy. Likely to be found through Bob. Alep gone beginning of this round, but speaking of the devil as Bob rings in for a very timely kill. On plan ensues. CT seen on the menu. Order right now for Minpot to swing. That's exactly what they wanted. It's exactly how they imagined it going for them. At a best case scenario first half due to this deficit. An 8-4 that Seneca to right on the page. Not a terrible place to be, Donnie. It could be worse.
100% could be worse. But with that being said, I mean, it's also a piss round away from being extremely dire and stressful. And if Dog Lover has anything to say with it, I think it's going to continue to fall in CSU's favor. 21-8 within one half of play is absurd.
Block that window smoked. Bob all the way down from the net. We'll try and get back up now. Entering in the middle. And these Glocks, they're just going to introduce themselves 3 different ways. A great way to start off this pistol. And it doesn't look like anybody on Seneca is going to be able to argue with this. Maybe Alep. Maybe with these Dooley.
Oh, hot start. Able to spray down too. But only 8 HP left to talk about, and as he's shot down right through the crack of the truck in the wall, it's only Twix, who quickly meets their demise, and already CSU 1 round away from double digits after the pistol.
And unfortunately, this is going to become miles harder now. Unfortunately,
Yes.
This is how we know the Bang Bang to go in the MR12. Seneca maybe running out a little bit of gas at the end of this series here is also something to maybe, toss around in our minds. Trying to come this far in the reverse sweep. It's definitely one. Just challenging. Also considering this is their first series. Forfeit to Fisher detonate. That's one of the more crazy things we have popping back up into place in this competing semester. Because that's a sort of joint project, where obviously we know the detonate banner from further into NACS as Lap sees a couple players on the site, and well, then he is disowned. COSP to be in that same vein, but I mean, Tatum back in collegiate competition,
Yes.
Donnie, is not something we've seen since Europeans took his spot on that main Fisher team.
Tatum, a great player and a great guy as well. Definitely going to
Absolutely.
bring a lot
Great
to that detonate. Oh, you know what? That's something I didn't know.
Yeah, so before, I'm not sure it's currently a thing, and that's why I feel good talking about it, because it might be an unsolicited advertisement, but he used to have, like, Monroe's Bakery. I think his family ran an operation where they sold stuff online. I actually won, like, a free batch of brownies one time, and they were, like, insanely good. Dog Lover out of the site, as we discuss the qualities of players that may not be too available in the server, but it feels like the heat being turned up right inside of the A site, all with these kills. You can get this temperature response back. A great touch by Lazuli.
Able to claw back into the 2-on-2. Dog Lover doing really good early on into the round to open up that bomb site. Not able to be capitalized fully upon, but either way, it is the bomb now creeping its way towards the apartment. Alap the Frog sits and waits towards Market. As with 50 seconds left, it does seem that this will be the end goal, the end play.
Giving them a lot of that room to breathe, too. The freedom once they find it. Alep with 2 HP. In essence, it's just a deeper empty pillar position. Like, he's just immediately in the cover for it. So, on the chance that he gets to strike, on his own dime, which won't get to happen. That fight was not in his own terms. He just wasn't quite ready for the swing. And CSU didn't see off Esty pull off a clutch. Let's see him attempt it.
A good way to start. First kill is good. Min Potato full health still. The Galil will have to outduel the AK. Dancing around the bomb site. Here's Bestie pushing forward. Smoke on the bomb. No tap yet. Flash through. Min Potato needs to spray through that smoke. And that's exactly what happens for 11 being the scoreline. Penultimate series point for the Vikings.
Things were getting awkward back in Bob's camp. Financially. Campaign got to run on dollars, Donnie. We know that's how this works. It feels like a force buy is the focal point. They do return that A1S, so I'm rather more a fan of them swallowing the hard pill and having the full buy to muscle out an overtime opportunity.
I don't think it's a bad play at all, but it definitely puts you in quite the difficult situation. Festi, a shot through the wall and through the smoke. Interesting to see that Deagle. But Dog Lover, I mean, I know it's against pistols. Still.
Oh my gosh.
Already, but give him the ace. Give him the ace. He deserves it. The game. Oh, he's actually dead. I apologize. Festi making the Deagle ring to be true.
This guy the ace,
Three in the round for him. Yeah, you know what? Why not?
At this point, anything goes. I don't know. You ought to stick to the Deagle. Came this far with it. Picks up the AK. More importantly, the Molly. This might actually move Marvin forward. He just goes further back and holds a good line. Nobody gonna get past his scrimmage. Not today. It's 12 here. A large lead. 8 rounds. CSU ready to tuck this one away.
No mistakes can be made for the side of Seneca. Double op coming out. Bit of a change for the defense. First time it's able to be afforded. Maybe you can put them in the position to try to trudge along into this comeback a little bit, but still needing to be absolutely perfect for 8 rounds in a row and then having to play more after that. The pressure, the insurmountable. Dog Lover already off to a hot start, running in through ramp. Prince collects one for himself as well, although Festi's able to trade back, maybe find another one, dink down Lazuli. Min Potato gets the better of him, and his kills fall back and forth. Low HP on the tees, but still the player advantage. Make that an even player situation.
Ooh. Long range spray, Donnie. And now Lazuli out for the 1v1. We're still going. We're still pushing. Defuse comes through. Bob and the boys are going to make us watch their squad net a 5th. Ain't done with this thing yet. Barely see where that spray landed.
I liked Bob and the boys. Sounds like it could be a good, like, boy band. Yeah.
Oh, I love our production crew. Great vibes given to us by TTL. And most importantly, some would argue, our unsung heroes in the space. Always got to give our love over to our observer. Crazy P behind it. Been pushing those buttons for a while and producing some great results. This is producing quite a wonderful result. It is the result. It is a requirement of a 4K. Such an insane end to this game. Marvin is a terror. Takes 4 frags. Takes the series personally. And CSU, just like that, should get back to 500 here at the beginning of the spring Division 1 season in NECC. That's exactly what happens. Lazuli punches their ticket back to 1-1.
That was a disgusting round from Marvin. I mean, having a great game already, but able to pull through right at the end. A huge 4K to net that final round. And of course, I want to sing the praises of Dog Lover one more time. One of the most impactful performances I've genuinely seen within a series of Counter-Strike. So hats off to them, and congratulations for the 1-1 record now.
Yeah, Dog Lover across that 3-map affair had 79 kills, which is a pretty good place to be.
Yeah.
Marvin just behind him in terms of impact at 62 through the whole series, which, hey, across 3 maps, you may want to pull in that much, but it's hard to produce that well. Gosh, you're looking at like 20 frags on average, turning into a good belt just for Marvin there. And then you look for where we're headed on Dog Lover's dive, and that's a really good place to be. They have a lot of firepower here. Donnie, they're going to need it. This Group D is really a competitive one. This win is only going to put them back up to 6 over here at the 1-1 spot, where there's 2 teams 2-0, and then that big tie for 3rd place.
Yes, of course. And, on the side of Seneca, good things were shown through that game. Great team play. It seemed like a good understanding of what they wanted to do, but it's just a few things across the line. And, of course, not necessarily having the firepower, at least today, to go up against the heavy hitters on the side of CSU makes them fall short, makes them drop down to 0-2. But still plenty of life within this division and within this tournament for them to try to mount a comeback into it.
No, most definitely. And I think we've already talked about how, you're getting to see this RIT Orange squad that is literally 3rd in the, preseason or week 1 rankings from College Counter over there that update weekly, Donnie, similar to how they do it over at HLTV, which I think is a really cool thing. CSU coming into this matchup was 39th as Seneca was 85th. Fortunately, I feel like that mark might stay close to the same. I don't see it getting pushed very far back considering how close this series was for them, Donnie, but we'll take it. In a 3-map affair, I get to spend a good 3 hours with you and the whole production crew. Honestly, it was such a blast, but I think it's time we set it down, because this was a great time tonight we just had.
Yeah, I'm very happy to be able to fill in for Vinny and have my little mark on the collegiate scene. And hopefully I'm back for more because, it was a blast. And also, there's a few more games going on tomorrow. Mark, you want to shout those out real quick?
Yes, very importantly. And obviously we had that Rocket League stream going on at the same time today. I know that was a bit of a banger, but tomorrow on Thursday, we are going to be having League of Legends on the mainstream. But then on Friday, a good bit of Overwatch action is always something we are looking out to see, Donnie. Not just Counter-Strike that we have around this region, but you'll get to see...
Share the love.
We get to see back to our beautiful game back in about 2 weeks' time, where we pack it away. Oh, and we got... Yeah, exactly. Like I said, every 2 weeks for CS, we're going to be hitting resume on Rainbow Six Siege next week. And I know that's going to be an absolute banger, Donnie, but... Dude, I can't say how much fun I had with you today. It's a shame that we got to close this out, but till next time, Donnie. And I know I'm going to see your beautiful fat face at a LAN coming up here in a couple of months where we're going to... No, I think I'm slipping up. Don't, dude, my production team is cutting me up on the clues. We're going to see Fisher College there. Slip. There's going to be some great collegiate action there. And your beautiful face, your very handsome face, Donnie. You're wonderful.
I know, Mark. Oh, thank you. I cannot wait to see you as well. But yeah, I think that is it for tonight. And until we see each other again, I've been Buckethead. You see that little @ sign below my name. You could follow me. And Mark, he's got an @ sign below his name. You could follow him. Mark, any closing regards?
Yeah, go ahead and follow Crazy P in Time to Light as well. Our lovely production here at the NECC. And shout out everybody working behind the scenes to make our little tournament go here. We love you all, and we love you all for tuning in and supporting this broadcast. We're going to be back next week on Wednesday with Rainbow Six, so make sure to tune in then. League of Legends tomorrow, Overwatch on Friday, and you can see their faces then. Everybody have a great rest of your night. NECC coming back to you soon.